Hey guys, it's Gay. Welcome back to my channel. This is today's look. Just a beginner's friendly, basic, neutral look. If you're interested in how I did this look, just stay tuned, watch the video, hit like, hit subscribe. Let's be peoples, and I hope you enjoy. I can draw that. Okay, so first we're gonna start off with the e.l.f. Poreless Primer. Now, you wanna always use a primer for your face and your makeup. It gives your foundation a smooth canvas to work from, and it also helps to keep your makeup on, especially if you're oily and you sweat or something like that. And I personally like to use a primer because I don't like to put makeup directly on my skin. I like to have a barrier there. So I'm oily, so I always look for matte primers. Now, if you're a dry person, then you may want to look for a hydrating primer and try it out and see what works for you. Okay, I like to go in with LA Girl Pro concealers on my eye. Now this is going to be a really natural neutral look because it's more beginner friendly makeup. I like to go in with the LA Girl Pro concealers. I get them, you can get them from the local beauty supplies, you can get them from your drugstores. And I use them as my eye base because I have discoloration, a little darkness in my eyes and veins, and I have moles, freckles, and so I don't want to place my shadow on top of that. I won't get the true color. So I use this like it's kind of like a primer, but it's more like a base to give that a smooth one shade canvas for your eyeshadow. And I just put a little on, take my brush, dab it in, smooth it out. You want it real smooth. You can set it with a little powder if you like, or you can just let it dry. Alrighty then, so we're gonna start in with the Violet Voss Creme Brulee palette, and it is a simple little neutral palette. Now, this is a basic eye look and where you would place your shadows. And what I mean by that is, okay, so my brow bone, and I want to use a brow color. So I'm always going to go for the lighter color for my brow bone. It can either be a shimmery or it can be a matte, but you always want to place a lighter color under your brow bone. Now I'm going to go in with this matte, and I'm just going to place my brush, a little flathead brush, because this flathead brush is going to be easier for me to get under my brow with. And then I place that directly under my brow. And kind of bring it down a little. And see how it just lightens up? It gives it a little bit of lightness. Now you can go as deep as you want to. If you want that brow bone to be popping, or you just like a little bit of shade there. Just like that. Okay, so now we have placed our brow bone. Now we're going to go in with a transition shade, and with a transition shade you want to look for a orangey brownish type color, because you want it to be light. You don't want to go deep dark in your crease with that, with a blah, 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 blah. You don't want to go deep dark in your crease with a color. You want to gradient effect. That's why we use a transition color, because you want that color to be gradient. You want to go from light to deep. So this is a good shade for a transition color, and you place that right in your crease. This is your crease where that bone is, right there. Now if you have hooded eyes like I do due to age, and then some people just have hooded eyes because they're born that way, You would want to be sure to get your shadow above this fold right here. This is that fold. You want to place your shadow above that fold, because if you place your shadow on your lid up under that fold, you won't see it. But we'll get into that more. But yeah, that's so I lift my eyes up when I'm working to be sure to get my shadow above my fold and in my crease. Now I have really big eyes, so I have a little bit more space I have to work with. Now when I'm using my, I'm sorry, the phone was ringing and it caught my eye. When I'm using my fluffy brush, I'm using that to go into my crease because I want to cover all that space. So I used a big little fluffy brush to just go ahead and cover that space, if that made any sense. There's a cat on my patio that is very irritating to me. But yeah, so we're working this in our crease. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna go into the Jackie Aina palette and I'm gonna take another fluffy head brush because I'm gonna be working on my outer corner. Now we don't use these anymore. Back in the day, we used to use these, y'all. Some of y'all are really young and you never have, but Weezy, put it up. No more, no more. Alrighty, so I'm going into the Jackie Aina palette and I am going to take Credit. Credit is my favorite brown. And I am going to place that right on my outer corner. You always place your darker colors on your outer corner. This is your V. So I'm going to place that color right in my outer corner. This is a go-to basic makeup placement. Now, makeup is an art, so you really can do your makeup however you want to if it looks good to you. I'm just giving you some basics because a lot of people just like a natural basic look. They're not trying to do all, that I do and some other people may do. They just want a basic, makeup look. And beginners, and this is for my beginners because I get a lot of messages from beginners asking me about makeup placement, for beginners. So that's why I'm doing this video. Now, I'm not exactly a teacher, a talker teacher. I'm more of a show you type person, but so I'll just do my best. But you see what I mean when I said that transition color needs to be lighter and then you put your darker and you see how they just fade into each other. It gives that gradient look. That's what you want. That is what you want. And in makeup, what you're going to have to do, no matter how you like your makeup, if you like it simple, extravagant, or artsy, you're going to have to be a blender. Makeup requires blending. And what that is once I put the color on my lid, I've got to blend it. You want that makeup to look seamless. You want it to flow, each color to flow in each other, into each other. And you don't want it to look hard and to say, you see where it begins, you see where it ends. You want it to just be a gradient effect. And in order to do that, you have to blend. And a lot of times when you blend, but then you have to go back in and place more color. Now, this is just a simple look, so I'm not gonna have to do all that. But usually, like if I blend this area here and blend it until it's almost, it's so light, it's not as deep as I wanted it, I would just go back in with my brush and I would just tap that on until I got that deep color again that I wanted. But you're gonna have to blend. And sometimes blending takes a minute. You don't just do a couple of them and move on to the next. Sometimes you have to really blend. And it also depends on the shadow. Now you see how that just fades into each other? That gradient, that's what you want. Now this is my lid right here. And you always want a lighter color. Well, you don't always want a lighter color, but in this basic makeup look, you want a lighter color for your lid. Now you can choose from, let's go back to this other palette. You may want to use your orangey transition color. I just say transition color, but an orangey color. You may want to use a shimmer, or you may want to use a matte. It depends on you. I'll just put that matte right here. Let me get my brush for that. Now for this, I am going to use a little flathead packing brush, and I'm just going to dig right into that and place it on my lid. Now remember, I'm not going to bring this color up because I have enough lid space here, but sometimes if you have a really severe hooded eye, this fold is really like right down here, you want to place your shadow above that hood. So I would bring it up right in here. I would bring it up because that would be above my hood. I have a little bit more lid, so I'm just going to place it on my lid to show you where you would place that color for this basic look. And I'm just patting that on really lightly. And don't worry about if you get it on the other color, because you're going to go back in and blend everything together anyway. And that's what we do. So I will go back in. I've already got some product on my brush. Now, if I want to add more product, then I'll just open up my shadow and I'll just add more. I would tap into it. You want to go lightly. It's better to go lightly and start with your shadow than to go too deep and try to blend it out. It's a hot mess. So now I just go back in really lightly, blend it all together. And you see how that just blends together. Go on this side, do the same thing. And you see I didn't have to go back in to get any more. I just used what was on the brush and in this area to do my shadow. Now I'm gonna do a really simple eyeliner with this look. You don't have to. You can just put your mascara or lashes, whatever you want, and that can be it. I'm just gonna do a little bit more just to show you. And right now I'm just still blending everything together. Go in with liner. Now before I go in with my liner, you can use a liquid liner, but since this is beginners, we're gonna just go with a pencil because it's much easier. Now I like to put a white liner on my wet line inside my eye because it helps to brighten up my eyes. I have allergies really bad, and so my eyes are always red. So I find that when I use this white liner inside my eyes, it helps to brighten them up. Once I get my makeup on and everything, it looks better. Now, I'm gonna go in with this eyeliner pencil, and I'm just gonna go right on my eyelid, right above my brows, really lightly with this color. And depending on how deep you want it, depends on how much you put. But I'm just gonna start with a really, really light line. Now me myself, I want that, let's do a little bit more brown, because you know you can also use an eyeshadow for your eyeliner, and I'll show you. With this type of brush, and I'm going to go into this brown eyeshadow, and I'm just going to place that over that liner that I just placed down, and then I'm just going to kind of blend that in. just like that. Depending on what you like, if you want to wear lashes, you can place your lashes, or you can just go ahead and place your mascara to complete your eye look. Now I'm gonna throw on some lashes. We're gonna apply our foundation. I like to work from the back of my hand. I like to place my foundation on the back of my hand. It's just easier for me. Now I use a brush. You can either use a brush or a beauty blender. Since this is a beginner's video, we're gonna just go with a beauty blender because it's much easier to control how much foundation you put on your face. Now I like to squirt a couple of squirts on the back of my hand. Start off with one, go in lightly, and then work your way up to 2 if you see that you want more coverage. And you wet your beauty blender, and then to get the excess water out of it, you will put it in a paper towel and squeeze it really tight. You want your beauty blender damp, but you don't want it soaking wet. And then you tap into your foundation and place it on your face. Now, you can start in just one section and work that section and then start on the next. I'm used to just going all over, and so I'll just go ahead and go all over. But what you're doing is pushing it in, not swiping it. You're pushing it in into your skin. And you're gonna take it down your neck. Now, I like to take my foundation down my neck because I don't like to be too toned. Sometimes you may have a darker neck or a lighter face, or a darker face and a lighter neck, and you want them both to match, so you want to place the foundation down your neck. Now, I'm not gonna do that today because I'm not going anywhere. I'm just doing this video, and I don't want to be scrubbing all on my neck because I'm a woman of a particular age and I'm fighting wrinkles. So then you bounce it in your skin all over your face and neck. Okay, so your foundation is on. And now you're going to set your face with a powder. Now I'm going to go off camera and contour, and then I'll be back and we'll set our face. This is not a step that you need to take just for beginners. Now, if you want to, just let me know and we'll go back over it again. But just for beginners, you don't have to do this step. I just prefer to do it. So when I come back, we'll set our face. All right, so excuse the noise, the air conditioning's on, it's hot. So you've placed your foundation. So you always want to set your liquid, which is a foundation or a concealer, with a powder so that it will stay in place. Now I'm going to use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish and a fluffy powder brush. And you would just swirl your brush inside, and then I push it lightly into my skin all over. Wherever I have set my face, wherever I have placed my foundation or a concealer, then I set it with the powder so that it will stay in place. And you can just do a really light set, depending on, what you prefer, what's your preference. Now I go in with a little powder contour. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, this is how you would do it. And you always go in with a shade 2 to 3 shades darker than what your natural skin tone is, because you're contouring. And it also brings back color and definition into your face, because once you place the foundation, it kind of wipes out all the definition out of your face. So this brings back also. Okay, so also to brighten up the inner corner of my eyes, I'll go in with a lighter color and just place that right in the inner corner of your eyes. And see how that just gives it that extra brightening? And that's just to brighten up your eyes, to make them look more alive. I'm just going in with a lip liner and a neutral lipstick. Hey guys, and this is the completed look. Just a beginner-friendly, neutral, basic makeup look. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you'll know when I upload in the future. Even share this video. It's much appreciated, and I will holler at you.